Yeah, it's been an honor having you guys here.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. In Rongai area, Kajiado County, we meet a group of young men, 3 graduates who are behind the genius innovation of the electrical sanitizer dispenser, a fully equipped dispenser that uses electric energy to dispense sanitizer through a body sensor technology.
Hand sanitizer dispenser. It is as the word describes, it is an automated system whereby there is zero human contact. That is, the system has got a sensor. It is rechargeable.
According to the 3 innovators, a call by the government to the youth to come up with innovations that can help in the fight against COVID-19 led them to the idea behind the creative innovation of the electrical sanitizer dispenser.
The Cabinet Secretary for Health, the Honorable Mutahi Kagwe, appealed to the youth that we should be on the front line in fighting this pandemic. So we took up the challenge and decided now we need to come up with an innovation that is going to fight up this pandemic.
Despite there being other innovations of sanitizer dispensers that are manual, the trio says theirs is one of a kind, one that reduces the risk of infection by a huge margin because it reduces physical contact.
The idea of coming in the project is it is zero contact. What you are trying to avoid is zero contact, whereby you press your heart, get sanitized, go away. That is zero human contact. I believe this one will have like 100% save. It's 101%, I believe, save way of avoiding the COVID-19 spread. Yeah.
But how does it work?
A customer to just place their hands and it dispenses, like so. So if you place your arm longer, it will dispense another time. You get?
At a distance 3 inches, that is, or 3 centimeters from the sensor, and when the sensor notices, sees, recognizes an obstacle, that is your hand. What happens is it sends data to the microcontroller, then microcontroller communicates to other devices, and this is when now it activates and dispenses the sanitizer. So this process, I might explain it like it's a wrong process, but it's a seconds process.
The dispenser that glows in the dark took 3 weeks to print with a homemade 3D printer, also innovated by the trio. They, however, say it was not without its own share of challenges.
For acceptance, because majority of people when they hear made in Kenya, they think of, it's surely done. And they don't expect it to last long. So it being embraced locally is a challenge. Secondly is availability of materials, because like when we talk of 3D printing, we have to import everything from outside, the filaments, the parts and whatnot. We import almost all of them. And when we talk of production costs, we're talking of electricity, it's not that cheap.
But the 3 are not the only ones eager to help in the fight against the novel coronavirus pandemic in the country. This hardware shop at the city center houses another group of young innovators. These innovators making airtight body bags to help in the transportation and burial of COVID-19 patients.
We are aware since January we've been hit by the pandemic, and the pandemic, as we know, it's a health crisis. You've seen that our country has also been affected. So we as youth, we've reorganized our business so that we're able to stay afloat. We're also able to respond to the call by the government to follow not only the measures, but also support the government in managing the crisis, especially when it comes to the disposal of the corpses.
Despite COVID-19 leading their fabric business to the ground, they have found a lucrative opportunity in this body bags business. They, however, say they are not angels of doom. Preparedness is where their business comes in.
But we see there is a need to respond to that call. And we've seen a few counties coming to us. And for that reason, we think we're not doing it necessarily for profit. We don't want that the pandemic should prolong for long. But at the moment, we see there's demand coming up. And so in readiness, they're trying to stock by minimum amounts. And then, of course, based on client requirements, you're able to quickly support where need be.
According to the innovators, the idea came about from how the COVID-19 burials are conducted, with the government importing the body bags from abroad. Hence, the need for a homemade product by these retailers who previously did other retail products. But how are the body bags made? In a world where many are terrified of how long the pandemic will stay, how it might end, these innovators are clearly leading by example with a clear message: the solution starts with me and you. For TV 47, I'm Zainab Mohammed.